And Charles, we look at this Patriots team entering play. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. Danny Amendola on the return. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. Orchestrating the offense, the former 3-time captain at Michigan State, quarterback Kirk Cousins.
And frankly, this is the type of game that a great quarterback relishes because 0-2 on the road, everything's against him and his team. No one can expect them to win. Sometimes you band together real tight in that situation, and if he plays really well, they've got a chance to get that done.
Running, it's Drake, and he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32. A check on the numbers for Kenyon Drake last week. 16 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown.
And the way they ran the ball in last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now Cousins. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. The Miami Dolphins starting lineup now, and Kenyon Drake, a guy to watch.
He has the ability to affect the game in so many different ways. In the return game, bringing it back himself. Also could be a gunner on the punt coverage team and did that very well at Alabama. But has the ability to run the ball in the backfield as well as catch it. Kenyon Drake, you can use him so many different ways.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And it's caught by Parker. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. That one good for 13 at a Dolphin first down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
That countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
On 2nd down, it's Drake. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 3 yards on the gain. They're going to need to do better on this next play. It'll be 3rd and 12.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And he goes down at It's a Patriots sack. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
On fourth down, Matt Hawk to punt it away. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Looking to throw, Trubisky on first down.
Didn't have the greatest field position to start, did they? And now, after this sack, it's way, way worse.
And right off the bat, first play of the game. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
You see it?
And they will not get the snap off here. This is going to back them up halfway.
Delay of game, offense.
They're inching closer and closer here to the wrong goal line.
When you're backed up like
Still
that,
second down.
all you're trying to do is make sure you don't give up a big play, right? You don't miss an assignment that really gets you into more trouble.
On second down, here's Trubisky. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. It's fielded at the 45. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. So now here come the Dolphins. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And he'll take it across the 50 and into New England territory.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Cousins. He dumps it off to Drake. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4th.
They dialed up the blitz on third down, and your worry as a defense that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he'll punt it away for the second time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And they'll go on the ground. And his first carry, he loses the football. And the Dolphins have got it. And great effort. Does he get burned for that in film? He fought through some tackles. End result, though, a fumble.
It's going to be one of those situations where he'll get yelled at about the fumble, but at the same time get a check mark for the extra effort. And so it's one of those tough, tricky things for coaches. You don't want to coach it out of them so much that you take away the effort. You just want them to be conscious of taking care of the football.
Balaj. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. Second down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
On the give, this is Drake. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. He had a great read there from his free safety position. And, Charles, you know with those guys, it's all about their eyes. They have to be laser-focused.
Yeah, I had to fake my way through it when I was playing, but now I can see exactly what they're doing. And on that play, he obviously had no presence to feel like he was being pushed for a pass. And without that, that allowed him to get to the line of scrimmage and hold him to no gain.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it up.
I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first two drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run it here. This is James White. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Throwing here, Trubisky. And Corliss has it. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
Pass interference. Defense.
So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. So not much to speak of scoring-wise in this first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Patriots in possession to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 6 to start things out. And they'll run it here. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. And some concerns caused him to slip to the 5th round. I guess if you're him, the good news is you kind of flew under the radar. Maybe expectations are low. You can come in and prove something.
And a lot to prove, because those off-field concerns that creep in on you, you want to prove that they're all wrong, that they don't matter, that you are a much better player than what people picked you.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
On now is the kicker, Jason Myers, for the field goal try. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. And that is no good. And this will remain a scoreless game. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
And out come the Dolphins now. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him. Well, that one was over before it could get rolling. How about the D just knifing into the backfield and shutting that one down?
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Cousins now on 2nd down. He finds Randall Cobb on the completion. And all the way down to the 26. A big play there for the Dolphins. And even 40 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
On 1st down, Drake. And he's got some space here. And he's going to take this down to about the 17. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Second down, Cousins. That's complete right around the 8. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another 1st down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Here's a run with Balaj. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Kalen Balaj, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Dolphins are in for 6. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Janikowski good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. On the return is Henderson. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out come the Patriots. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive. Missed field goal.
always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the post. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
Alex got it over the middle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. Throw right side, going to be taken in by Henderson. That one good for 13 and a New England first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. A gain of 3, second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Past the 20. He's got a man. That's caught left sideline. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Gotta go. There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And Myers able to knock it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
Then the Dolphins getting set to go here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, 2nd and 10. On second down, Cousins again. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd, and he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. On second down, Trubisky throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That'll be a New England first down, a gain of 12.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now it's Trubisky, and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away, and it's second down. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
Dancing to his left. Over the middle, he finds Henderson complete. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. That goes for a gain of 31.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first.
Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 15. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10. Following the interception, Cousins. It's complete to Parker, left side. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Final play of the half, Cousins. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. Trying to get it that time to Stills, and it's 3rd and short. The Dolphins on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll throw now on the final play. Going deep here for Stills. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So we've reached halftime here, and and we will skip the highlights show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. On the return is Henderson. Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Patriot offense now set to come back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line that hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
New England on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
Here's Ryan Allen now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this will be touched by a member of the kicking team inside the 20, and it's at the 17-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut him down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
And they see right through that defensively, as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution. Yeah,
and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Here's Matt Hawk now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll take it just outside the 40. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Patriots will have great starting position as they take over 1st and 10. Now the Patriots gearing up to go now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The tackle there by Mark Barron.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And Myers able to knock it through, and they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent, that we made them specialists.
Okay. And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. They'll start the drive with Drake. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. Last year, the Dolphins were the second most penalized team in the NFL, nearly 9 a game, and now they've got 1st and 15. They stay on the ground with Drake. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long. Just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
3rd and long for Cousins. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Cobb. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's Matt Hawk now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. So the Patriots coming out now. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. They'll run it now out of the gun. Showed a good move, but quickly corralled just beyond the 10-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he's got a man open. That's Allen. It's a gain of just a couple there, but it's enough to get him the first.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route. But he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
Trubisky now 8 of 17 so far, under 50%. Out of the gun, Trubisky. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this third quarter of play. And that is going to do it for this. Back now in Foxborough. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the fourth. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now it's Trubisky. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. His tight end, Dwayne Allen, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted, and if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get it.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Adrian Claymore in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Counter play, Drake. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Matt Hawk now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. 62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And the Pats will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. Now the Patriots offense, they work their way back out onto the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of shot of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory. That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room that if you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he's able to get this up just shy of the 15. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a 1st down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
They go play action here on 1st down. Going to air it out deep for Gronkowski. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. Now, a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Trubisky, and that will be incomplete as well. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
That's pulled in at the 32. Now a hit and a loose football.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer, and put your defense in a bad spot.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Drake will start the drive on the ground. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And over the middle, this is Parker. Fights through, and now a crease. And he gets this deep into Patriot territory. It's a big play there for Miami, and even 40 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
They'll run with Drake. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They come out here in the eye. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1.
This is where coaches have to have spent a lot of time going over situations with their players, because him getting tackled there is not the worst thing in the world. You're going to run more plays, right? Clock's going to go. But his thought process is getting into the end zone. It's counterintuitive for him to actually go down in this spot.
Yeah, but like you say, you don't want to get in the end zone too early here.
No, not at all, because you may leave an opening that could come back and get you.
Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
They'll stay on the ground. Balazs again. And he's not going to push his way forward. He's going to be stopped at the 2-yard line. They're held again, and do we have a goal line stand brewing? It's 3rd and goal. And the question now, can the Patriot defense hold firm again on 3rd and goal? They run it with Balazs. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Kalen Balazs, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead.
Well, They decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker, this has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
Janikowski now for the point after. Janikowski adds the extra point, and that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. That time a 6-play drive, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. That'll be taken in the end zone, and he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Patriots offense now, they work their way back onto the field. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of...
He's got it at the 15. And they're going to get this all the way inside the Miami 15. A big play there for New England. 62 yards. Charles, just a gigantic play right there.
Absolute breakdown defensively, but take no credit away. A huge gain, and that turns things around.
Back to throw. And that one's going to be over everybody in the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. Unable to get it to Gronkowski that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. He's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
And it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
The Patriot passing game is rolling. They've got another 1st down.
I'm a little surprised right here. They got 3 timeouts left. The clock's running down, and they aren't using them. Those timeouts do you no good at home. Use them now.
1st and goal, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here are musts. He's back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Well, they needed the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, but they're not going to get a shot at either. This is a great play here defensively, Brandon, and at a time that they sorely needed one. And that could be enough to help get them out of here with a victory.
Now Drake, and they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Right back to Drake. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. The Dolphins on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd down and 12. They'll run here with Balaj. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And a timeout comes in. The whistle's blown with 3 seconds remaining. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Here's Cousins. He's going to look deep down the field. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for Miami,